Hey guys, before I start this video, I would first of all like to make an apology. Well, two apologies. The first one is that videos have been very kind of scarce lately, and I apologize for that. And secondly, I apologize that I have to record this on the webcam because the quality on the webcam is good, but there's no way it's as good as the DSLR. But my DSLR, my lens has a chip on it, so I decided to record on this. Let's dive straight into the video. So today I'm going to be going over the Xbox One versus the PlayStation 4, what I think. Before I start properly, I just want to say that this is not like a review. Don't really take anything that I'm saying here like, well, take it seriously, but don't use this to really make a decision. This is what I've seen and this is what I believe. Obviously my mind will change when they come out, but from what I've seen from E3 coverage, from other people's videos, from articles online, I've kind of made my thoughts and opinions, and obviously there are some stats in here as well on my notes to help me stay on track. So first of all, the price. The PS4 definitely has the winning hand in this category. The price is $100 cheaper on the PS3, which you can't complain about. They've obviously managed to get this price down, but thinking about price, when I say price, I do not mean value. The price of the PS3 upfront and probably in the long term will be cheaper. You're kind of paying $100 more for the Kinect and maybe some other stuff, which isn't 100% clear. But with the Xbox One, you will actually get the Kinect thrown in there. So that's really why they've put the price up now. Many people like, well, I'm never going to use the Kinect, but from a like business standpoint, it really does make sense, because if they want developers firstly to use the Kinect in their games, and if it's optional, then no one's really going to buy it. Like the PSI, I think Sony have literally just given up. The PlayStation Move on the PS3 was a tragedy, really. Like, a dozen people bought it, one person used it, one developer developed a game for it. It was really not very good. But Microsoft did really quite well with Kinect. Obviously, it was kind of a novelty, but Kinect 2.0, I'm just going to call it, looks much better, much micro, and Microsoft really want to push it into the Xbox One and be a really important part, especially with all the voice commands. If they made it optional, it would really be a bit stupid, really, because it would make less sense for them, because less people would use it, and they're trying to make the system all integrated. And the fact that they've chosen these different options obviously shows a lot about the way they're going, which I'll talk about later. But from a pure price, that PS4 is cheaper. So if money is kind of a big factor, then PS4 is cheaper. Next, the controller. Now, I haven't felt either of them, but knowing the Xbox 360 controller, which I use nearly every day, it is really comfortable. And I've used the PS3 controller, and I find it too small, really cramped, poor design. It's really the same as the PS2 controller. It really is, to be honest, so there's no denying that. But the PS4 controller looks much better. Now, I haven't used them, as I've said, but the Xbox One controller is really quite similar to the Xbox 360 controller. They have reorganized some places. I believe they've made it smaller, which I don't know if that's good or bad thing. I would probably just like prejudging say that it's a bad thing, because I like the size of the 360 controller. The PS4, however, has got bigger and better. From what I've seen, it looks much better than the PS3 controller. And the new Xbox One controller, finally we have a built-in, essentially a play and charge kit, which I really did prefer on the PS3, that you didn't have to buy a play and charge kit, you didn't have to deal with AA batteries. But now the Xbox One, Microsoft have finally realized that it makes sense to just include it. It shouldn't be an accessory. The controller itself should be rechargeable by USB. So moving on to Kinect versus PlayStation Eye or Move, I don't know what it's called. Well, we can clearly see the Kinect wins. Microsoft are pushing the Kinect, and to be honest, as I said, I really think that Sony have just completely just lost like ways. They've just like we don't want to deal with this. We can't do this. The Kinect is so powerful, but the Kinect just looks really quite awesome. I love the use of voice commands. A lot of people, that's just a gimmick, but to be honest, it's kind of like just looking into the future. You know, sit back, just like come home. You're like, don't want to have to go there, push the button, go the controller, just go Xbox on, and kaboom, all is sorted. There are apparently some privacy concerns with the Kinect, but I don't know about that. But the Kinect is much better than the PlayStation Move. I'm gonna put that out there. The PlayStation Move still requires little controller thingies. They look like that. Also, I'd like to talk about the approach that Microsoft and Sony are taking. They are clearly, well, obviously going for next gen, HD, and in one way, they're very similar. They're going for the hardcore games. However, where they split up is in, well, entertainment and also the future. Sony is kind of like the more conservative company. They really want to fix what was wrong with the PS3 because they didn't mess up too bad with PS3, but they definitely lost the PS3. Like, it didn't do as well as the Xbox. So Sony are like, we really want the PS4 has to do well because Sony as a company are struggling. Like, nothing really is going well for them, and they've got to rely on the PS4. So they're being really conservative. So we want to make gamers happy. We don't want to put any features that would even hint at trouble or uprising. Whereas Microsoft are going kind of the opposite. They're like, for future, and then they're like, well, now they're kind of relying on the future, which isn't a good thing, but at least they're looking to the future. Sony will probably in the future adapt, but you have to remember that these consoles will be lasting for quite a long time, about 8 years they've said. So Microsoft are really smart looking into the future. However, Sony, they're smart now because they want to make gamers happy, and obviously in the future they can change. So they're definitely taking different approaches in terms of what they want to do in the future. In entertainment, Microsoft is really weird because Microsoft pushing forward in like everything else, but entertainment in a way they're going backwards. Not backwards in a really bad way, but like they're allowing cable TV pass through, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but what's gonna happen is Microsoft, they're pushing up to the like future and stuff, and their sales, whereas cable is kind of just going down. Imagine it's facing that way. So they're kind of going opposite ways. Imagine it's like that. That's the Xbox, the future. It's a bit weird how they've chosen that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. As for the games, obviously they've both got the big titles: Call of Duty Ghosts, FIFA 14, Battlefield 4, Destiny, and many others. But to be honest, exclusives look much better on the Xbox. Now, the PS4 doesn't have bad exclusives. I'm just really excited for some of the exclusives on the Xbox One, like Rise, Titanfall. Yeah, that's an exclusive, but they look far better on the Xbox One, and there seems to be more. Whereas the PlayStation 4, it doesn't have bad exclusives. I just prefer the Xbox One. PS4 has games like Killzone, I believe, and Infamous Second Son. But what I would really love on the PS4 is the Naughty Dog exclusives. These are the people that make The Last of Us, Beyond Two Souls, which is coming out later this year. Believe that's for PS3. Yeah, it is. And they make the Uncharted series, I believe. So Sony have strong exclusives, but these aren't going to be on the launch of the PS4, which kind of is a drawback. But if you want to play Uncharted, if you're a huge Uncharted fan, obviously you're going to stick with the PlayStation. But the gameplay is going to be very similar. They're really going to be, even the new features that they're adding in, they're really going to be on both consoles. Even though Microsoft is pushing for smart glass and stuff, and voice commands, a lot of the stuff, I think a lot of developers will probably spend an equal time on both, so they're not going to push all the features onto the Xbox One and just leave the PS4, or vice versa. What console are you leaning towards, or are you gonna buy both? I would, but my budget does not allow me to do that. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll be going to Eurogamer, so I'll be trying to cover as much there. That's in September. I'll probably do another video on that later. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. As I said, what console do you want to get? You can leave that below, or you can tweet me at MrSpeedy9, and oh yeah, subscribe as well. It's free, and if you like this video, I'm sure you'll like my other videos.